Plaintiffs Michael and Sharon Chigola are suing Michael's ex-wife for an auto loan. Michael says he should have known his marriage to the defendant was not going to work because of the kinky sex she wanted.
Cue the defendant.
However, defendant Diane Berthold claims Michael was a willing participant in the threesome she set up. Diane says Michael's a compulsive liar who told Diane he had 2 children, but she later discovered Michael was a virgin.
Okay, everybody, here we go. Judge is on the move. Cue the bailiff.
All rise. The Honorable Judge Janine Pirro presiding.
Hello, Keith.
Hello, Judge. Please be seated.
The plaintiffs are suing Michael's ex-wife for an auto loan. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Go ahead.
So back in 1997, Diane and I were roommates. We ended up dating, fell in love.
Your Honor, first of all, it was 1996. It wasn't 1997.
Okay. I'm speechless. Did that matter? Go ahead, Michael.
So anyhow, even persevering past things like that, we did manage to get married somehow. Hindsight from all that says I should have noticed some signs early on that things weren't quite right. There was a lot of oddities. We ended up engaging in a threesome before we got married. That was kind of an awkward thing. I know it's every guy's dream, right? It's supposed to be, not mine.
How many times did you engage in these threesomes?
I believe it was 3.
3 times with threesomes?
Yes, you know, it was kind of set up. I was set up on those. I don't know for sure, but I'd always felt like I was.
That is not true. That is not true.
It's not
at all.
true?
No, he was absolutely part of the catalyst for that happening. Give me a break.
Yeah, I come home and find her and some other girl drunk, and next thing you know, we're all 3 in bed. And
yeah, but it wouldn't be 3 if you didn't join them.
Right.
Yes? No?
Right. Oh, exactly. But I felt like they were planning it out before I got there. Yes.
And I have to say, Your Honor, he's a compulsive liar. He, early on in the relationship, lied to me about so many ridiculous things. He told me that he had 2 illegitimate children when he was actually a virgin. He lied to me that...
Do you have 2 children?
No.
You don't?
I have 2 children now.
Did you have 2 children before?
No.
Lying really is signing a contract and then not fulfilling it. That's my idea of lying. That's a real lie. That's a real life lie.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so are you admitting that he might have said this? Were you a virgin when you met her?
No, I was not.
Okay, all right. Now, back to the threesomes. So you have a threesome 3 times.
Yes.
And how did you feel about that?
The first time I was, like I said, I felt, I was really uncomfortable. I felt like I had been set up. I actually remember being...
how about the second time?
Second time, they had kind of eased me into it. They both had a conversation with me afterwards saying that no, this wasn't planned, and you know we weren't setting you up for this and everything. So I was like, okay, I'll go with it. And so the second time,
So you went with it. Third time?
It was very awkward, and so that was it.
It was so awkward, that whole situation. You took both of us to Disney World for a week so that you could continue on with that.
She went to Disney World. Is this a honeymoon?
No, this was before we got married.
Oh.
Yeah, and I didn't pay for her to go.
When does your relationship start to break down, Michael?
In February of 2002, she had a conversation with a friend of ours, and next morning she woke up and said, I'm leaving. She said that she loved me, but she'd never felt comfortable with me sexually. And so, you know, kind of broke my heart there, obviously, at the time, but I decided to kind of move on. Did she not feel comfortable with you sexually because of you or because of her other interests? What? I really don't know. I mean, I know that she has a very skewed image of certain things sexually, so that's...
Do you think she's heterosexual? I mean, what do you think?
No, she's bisexual.
Okay. All right, you bisexual, heterosexual?
I'm bisexual.
Bisexual.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now, you're suing her for the car, is that correct?
Correct. I have some evidence here I'd like to give to you, and I have a copy for the defendant as well.
Thank you.
During the time of our marriage, we had a contract with Ford Motor Credit to purchase a new vehicle. And in the course of the divorce, she basically had wanted to keep that vehicle. So ultimately, down the line, she could not pay for that vehicle. She fell behind. I received calls from Ford Motor Credit telling me that they were going to have to repossess the vehicle.
What did you do?
Well, I contacted the defendant to see what was going on. She admitted that she was behind on the payments, that she wasn't going to be able to make them. So we basically decided that, you know, we're going to try to hand it over to avoid certain fees.
Your Honor, he came and took the vehicle from me, and I
You
had
called
no
us, or we
idea.
called you, Diane, and we said, the car, you're 90 days late on your car payments.
Because I could not make the payments, so you came and took the vehicle. I have no idea what happened to it after that.
Oh, come on, Diane. You left the keys with your dad.
I told you to take the vehicle because I couldn't make
thanks
them,
for
but
leaving
I
us with a
don't.
vehicle that has
All right,
90 days
so-
late on its payments.
Why did you stop making payments?
I had broken my leg and had 3 surgeries and 16 months of physical therapy, and then I got laid off. I had to move back in with my father.
Ooh-hoo.
I was unemployed. So yeah, I couldn't make the payments. So when they started contacting Mike, and he said, "I'm going to take
Is the
this
car
off."
still in both of your names?
Yes.
It was.
The car is
You get divorced, and what does the divorce decree say?
It
says it was
says,
mine.
yeah, actually, if you, it's.
What does it say?
on-
Do you have it?
Yeah, sure, exactly.
on page.
Page 3 of tab 2. It says, Diane will keep the 1999 Honda CRV, blah, 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 and will continue to make the payments.
All right, now, Diane, talk to me. What happened with your relationship with Michael?
Okay. I just want to start off with saying the best part of my relationship with Michael was definitely our honeymoon.
Was your honeymoon?
Yeah, at Disney World. That was the best part of our relationship. It was strange from the start. We had known each other for several years. In 1996, I had a tragedy befall me. My mother passed away, and 2 weeks later, my best friend passed away, and I was only 18 years old at the time. He came in and took care of me. He built me back up. He was really good to me, and because of everything he did for me, I sort of felt obligated, is what ended up
What, to
happening.
marry him?
Obligated to get married?
To start dating him.
Lame.
I was very young. It was a mistake. You know, I was never physically attracted to him. We had problems in our sex life around 2002.
What year do you marry him?
Year 2000.
Okay, and when you married him in the year 2000, you go to Disney World on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just you and Michael.
Yes.
No one else is joining you.
No.
You know, it seems to me you married Mickey when you should have married Minnie,
Yeah.
based on what you told me.
I was very young at the time.
You were very young?
I was very young.
Okay, now, you think that you shouldn't have to pay him the money that he's suing you for?
He took the vehicle. I have no idea what happened to it after that. I didn't know if he sold
You would
it,
know what
made
happened to it
payments
if you would have
on
returned
it.
phone calls from the collections department that kept calling and calling and calling.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to say?
Your Honor, there was an attorney for the lender who we have been dealing with since 2005. We have paid them over $9,000, $10,000 cash. The last one happened in June, and I had to borrow money from my mom so that we could put food on the table for our kids. This is a saga that has been going on and on and on, and she never took responsibility for it.
So what happens is you marry him, all of a sudden you are now stuck with a car that she's not paying for
Correct.
anymore. All right? The car is in your name?
The car
Both
was
of your
in both
names?
of our names.
All right. His credit is on the line. Clearly, what the frustration that you're hearing from her, and it is somewhat legitimate, is that here she is, she just marries this guy. Now she's taking on the burden of paying for a car that you were awarded in the divorce decree, that you, because of whatever personal situation and issues you had, couldn't pay for anymore. What I want to know, and you know, reading this divorce decree is very simple. The parties will sign over title to the vehicle to the party receiving the vehicle within 30 days. Why didn't you do that?
They
You
wouldn't
should
let
have
me
gone.
remove my name from that because it's federal law, so they said that their loan fell under federal law and the
Okay.
divorce decree is state law, so I could not be removed.
I
from that.
understand
Tried to
that,
take him
but
off
what
of
you
it.
had to do, and you understand his credit is tied in.
Yes.
He takes the Nissan, he's paying for that, and has a wife and
No,
a
we
bunch of
actually
kids.
paid for the Nissan with the sale of our house, so he basically got
He
a free
had the
car out of it.
Nissan before when I met him on our first
Why
date.
do you like to respond to her
sorry.
directly? This is not about you and her.
Yep.
Okay? Michael,
Yes.
take charge here.
Okay. Yes.
So what do you end up doing, Michael?
I tried to set up payment arrangements because I was
And
trying to.
did you?
I did.
How much have you paid?
$9,663.29.
Wow. Which
we
is
total paid.
over a small claims limit. Where's the
By trying
vehicle
to-
now?
Oh, it was auctioned off a long time ago. That's.
Okay, and you're
so
out of
after-
pocket how much?
Out of pocket $10,449.32.
All right. The claim by the plaintiff is whether or not the defendant is liable for basically breach of contract, although, you know, this is something that was made clear in the divorce decree as to who would own the vehicle. The unfortunate part of this is that the divorce court did not take into consideration the fact that even though she's awarded the car, that he was still on the debt and liable for the car. This is a small claims court. I will give you $5,000 because clearly you are out of pocket. You were in a tough spot because your credit was being affected. All right, verdict for the plaintiff, $5,000, so ordered.